Fex's Time Machine Adventure. Part 2: First Journey with the Time Machine. The next day, Fex got up early and immediately returned to the time machine project. He checked all the calculations in his notebook and decided to test the machine. However, it was also her responsibility to take care of her poor family, so she took care of her daily chores first. When she finally arrived near the time machine, her heart pounded with excitement. It was his greatest invention and could be one of the greatest discoveries in history. But first, he had to take a test ride. Fex entered the time machine and quickly made his calculations, then determined his goal. He wanted to go back to their village 200 years ago. The machine started to move and everything around Fex started to blur. After a few seconds, suddenly, everything stopped. Fex got up and looked around. The sight he saw was astonishing. The house next to it no longer stood, and in its place stood an old house. Fex realized that the time machine was working, and now all he had to do was find out what was going on here. After a while, Fex learned that the owner of this house was an old woman. She spoke to him and learned that he was Fexy, the great-great-granddaughter of Fex 200 years ago. Fexy was fascinated by Fex's time machine and asked how he did it. Fexy offered to help Fex and began to tell him about his village and his experiences 200 years ago. Fex decided to go to the village with him. Fexy gave Fex an ancient dress along with her dress, and they set off for the village. This journey of discovery was a great adventure for Fex. But the real question was what kind of consequences this journey would have.